everybody, it's Lynn, the Mindful Delinquent. So I thought I'd do a little video for those of us that are on our own at Christmas or find it difficult. You know, Christmas brings up a lot of stuff, doesn't it? Or these celebrations where family will traditionally get together, and maybe some of us don't have that kind of core family anymore. We might be living on our own, we might have lost somebody, been separated, gone through a breakup, we might be bereaved. You know, it's not an easy time for a lot of people, actually. It brings up stuff, that's what it does. It brings up wounds, and the way that we feel can be exaggerated, particularly affected, I have to say, by what we see around us, you know, on the TV and all the rest of it. You know, we could almost believe that everybody lives inside a Marks and Spencer's advert, or whatever, you know, they're living on Walton Mountains and everybody's lovely to each other, and you know, all the rest of it. So, oh, by the way, this is Sid, my inner critical pigeon, and these are my little Tweety birds of hope. They're always with me when I do my videos and I do my stuff online, my social media stuff. So look, I just want to talk about that and talk about how mindfulness can really help us, you know, when we're feeling this emotional pain. And emotional pain is physical. It hurts, yes? That aching, freaking hole in the soul. Oh my goodness. And the thing is that we don't want to feel it, okay? And a lot of us develop and have avoidance behaviours that we do to avoid being with ourselves and feeling how we're feeling. It's just too damn painful. And distraction techniques are great to use. It can be great to not think of yourself and go and do something or whatever, but there comes a point, doesn't there, in the middle of the night or whatever, when it is just us. We could also, by the way, be amongst a crowd and still feel very alone in how we're feeling, and lonely actually. So here is a mindfulness framework that can really help us learn to be with how we're feeling, difficult emotions. And it's called RAIN. It's an acronym, it's called RAIN. I learned it actually from Tara Brach, who was one of my teachers in my journey to become a mindfulness teacher. She's from the Insight, one of the founders of the Insight Meditation Center in Washington. Fabulous teacher if you want to check her out. Okay, so RAIN. The first thing we can learn to do is recognize. The A stands for allow. How do we allow this? Can we be with it? Can I be with what's happening? I is investigate. It's the cognitive element of mindfulness practice, which can be really, really useful. Sometimes people think that the mind is terrible, it's always thinking. Well, yeah, we want it to shut up sometimes, but sometimes it's, you know, it's a useful tool. It's got good stuff to tell us. And N is the nourishment part. How do we nourish what's going on with us? So, first of all, let's look at RAIN. I'm just going to have a sip of tea. Look at the clock. Okay, so the first thing we do is recognise what's going on. We recognise there's sadness here. Now that might sound obvious, but like I said, a lot of us try and avoid this. So we can use a really lovely technique for this, and just we notice this felt sense in the body. And when you practice meditation and mindfulness, you know, you get good at this, you know. You get emotional intelligence. Your emotions have got some information to tell you. So we're turning towards, we become willing to turn towards anyway, okay? Or become willing to turn towards. So we recognise there's sadness here. I'll use that as the example. So we can just take a couple of breaths and just say, oh, hello, my sadness, you're here. I recognise you're here. We can take a couple of breaths. Hello, my sadness, I see you. Okay, that's recognising. Recognising the nature of this reality in this moment. Sadness, you are here. So the next thing we can do is, can we allow it? Oh, that's freaking tricky, isn't it? Because sometimes, I don't know about you, but I've been in such primal, snot-ridden pain, especially in the years that I've been on this journey, and you know, the changes and all the losses and all the rest of it. Can I allow it? Well, sometimes freaking no, actually. No, I can't allow it. Okay, well that's the reality, isn't it? That's truth. So can I allow it? No, I can't allow it. Okay, so can I become willing to allow it? I don't know, actually, it's too painful. Can I become willing to allow this pain? So the answer to that is probably yes. We go back as far as we need to get to a yes. I don't like it. Can I accept that I don't like it? No, I freaking can't. Can I accept that I can't accept that I don't like it? Well, yeah, I think I can do that. I can manage that, you know. And so in that moment comes a recognition of surrender. We're powerless, you know. This is an emotional animal body, for the good and the bad. And so we can get to the point where there is a yes, there is an acceptance of sorts, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be the recognition of even the powerlessness of this moment. This is here, and this is hard, and I don't like it. So then an investigation. You know, we all know, or most of us know anyway, a lot of us, if you're watching a video like this, you will know that thoughts create feelings. Feelings also create thoughts, actually, but I'm not going to go there with that today. Well, maybe I will, actually, because it's relevant. So, the investigation part of this is, what am I believing right now? I can use this cognitively. It's a cognitive thought when I'm sitting there. What am I believing to be true? Well, am I believing that nobody cares about me, for example? Maybe, you know, the people I used to know don't contact, and, you know, and that hurts sometimes, you know, especially if you're on your own. Yeah, so what am I believing to be true, that they don't care? Well, is that really true? Well, we don't know that. That is probably not true, actually. There are all sorts of reasons why people don't get in touch, and also don't forget we can contact them if we want to. So we investigate what we're believing to be true, and we become willing to recognise that might not be the whole truth, or willing even, dare I say it, that we could be wrong. I might be believing that this will always be the case, that this pain will always be here. That is definitely, we know that's not true. The nature of reality is that everything changes, yeah. So we know, we become willing to look at what we're believing and what we're thinking about this particular moment. And that within itself is just so powerful. We become less of a victim to our own thoughts. Let's also just look at that idea I briefly touched on, which is feeling can create thought, as well as the other way round. So sometimes this overwhelming feeling of grief or whatever, or loss or loneliness can come up, and we find thoughts to match the feeling. Let's be aware of that too, and we have to be careful of that. But the same process applies. This is what am I believing right now? Is that really true? Can I reach for a better thought? Yeah, can I reach for a more balanced thought about this? This is freaking hard right now, but it's not forever. Okay, and I can also take some action myself as well. So the nourishing part of this exercise, the end, the rain, this is nourishing. So how am I going to take care of this? Well, you know, there are really fantastic techniques in mindfulness, and I'm going to put some links down of how we can hold physical and emotional pain. You know, I really had to become quite expert at this, actually, I had to tell you, when I became very ill. And I was in bed for oh my God, I keep saying frickin', I think that's okay on Facebook. Anyway, flamin' years. I was in bed for 4 years, completely on my own. Okay, we're going to look at nourish. So we're going to take a moment, and we're going to pause, and we're going to turn towards what's difficult, and we can recognise in this moment that is a brave and bold act. That is a courageous act. That is the act of the hero's journey. So we're just going to honour that to ourselves. Mindfulness and the act, meditation and the act of turning towards emotional pain is an unnatural act. Okay, so we're just going to close our eyes and we're going to take a breath and we're going to say, hello my pain, I see you. Hello my sadness, I see you. Hello my grief, hello my loss, I see you. I know you're there. And I'm going to feel my feet on the floor. And we're nourishing now with kindness. This is the fuel of mindfulness practice, kindness. For me, that's the same word as God or Jesus, whatever. We can call in the big guns. Why not? Let's get them all in. The Buddha, Krishna, the Muhammad, whatever name resonates for you, and we ask them to join us. We can ask our ancestors to join us. Hello, come on guys, I need you here right now. And we can just breathe around the edges of this pain. Hello my friend, hello, you're here. So we take a moment to have that pause. Okay, I'm not going to do a full thing here because it'll go on too long. But what I will do is put some links to some fantastic talks by these teachers that I was talking to you about earlier. I mentioned Tara Brach, amazing. She's incredible. Vidimala Birch, actually, from Breathwork. She's an absolute master at holding physical pain, if that's where you're at. And for me, emotional pain is physical pain, yeah? It's a felt sense in the body. I don't know why I'm whispering. My voice has gone all weird. Sorry about that. Spiritual and weird. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that when people talk in that really calm voice. But I think it's because I'm actually talking about something which is really delicate here. Delicate for me. I feel it with you too. Okay. So then that's the nourishment part of rain. Recognise, allow, investigate and nourish. Now, we've done that. Mindfulness meditation is not about also inaction. We can take action to take care of ourselves when we're alone or in pain and grief. So we can ask that pain and that sadness, what is it you need from me right now? What do you need, my sadness? And it might mean I make a phone call, okay? It might mean that I go out for a walk. It might mean that I join something. There might be something I can take part in. It might mean running a bath, lighting a candle. It might mean putting on some beautiful music, okay, some really lovely music that resonates with our mood. And this mood that is here right now, can I be with this now? That is the job of the day. And like I said earlier, you know, this is the hero's journey. Jonathan Faust talks about this in some of his amazing talks, actually, and he talks about that for most of us at most points in our lives, not for all of us of course, but for many of us we are at some point caught in what he calls tribal slumber. And that is when everything seems pretty rosy and whatever, and we get very narrow in our view and it all becomes about our nuclear group, you know. And then for many of us, you know, something happens, you know, and then we are invited to this journey, really, because it becomes untenable, actually. Perhaps the way that we were living before, the surface way, perhaps unhealthy addictions, behaviours or whatever. It's known in the Buddhist tradition as the heavenly messengers, actually. So this is a noble quest, okay, and let's really remember that, and maybe read some really lovely literature about it. Literature is amazing for this. Some really wonderful books and stories of people that have gone through these journeys, and just stuff to uplift us, really, but not to uplift us in a way which, oh, don't go there, you know. Yes, that has its part, but it's so important that we take a pause and become willing to turn our attention towards what is difficult. That is how we get okay in the here and now. Okay, and that is how we can access this amazing thing called the present moment, and we do it via the body. So if we want that, and it is pretty flaming amazing actually, I have to tell you the changes that happen when we do this within the brain and all the rest of it, I think it's pretty worth it actually. And there comes a point when there ain't nowhere else to run, and there comes a point where the people around us aren't there anymore. And perhaps we have a new life and we have to develop a new family, if you like. Friends become our family and whatever. So I'm going to just read you a lovely poem, which I think is absolutely beautiful. And it really speaks to this idea of these challenges and almost seem the right word. This untenable pain that we experience and loss in life, but how kindness really is the only thing that makes sense, actually. So here it is. It's called Kindness, and it's by a poet called Naomi Shihab Nye, and it was written in 1952. Before you know what kindness really is, you must lose things. Feel the future dissolve in a moment like salt in a weakened broth. What you held in your hand, what you counted carefully and saved, all this must go. And so you know how desolate the landscape can be. Between the regions of kindness, how you ride and ride, thinking the bus will never stop. The passengers eating their maize and chicken will stare out of the window forever. Before you learn the tender gravity of kindness, you must travel where the Indian in a white poncho lies dead by the side of the road. You must see how this could be you, how he too was someone who journeyed through the night with plans and the simple breath that kept him alive. Before you know kindness as the deepest thing inside, you must know sorrow as the other deepest thing. You must wake up with sorrow. You must speak to it till your voice catches the thread of all sorrows, and you see the size of that cloth. Then it is only kindness that makes sense anymore. Only kindness that ties your shoes, and only kindness that raises its head from the crowd of the world to say, "It is I you have been looking for," and then goes with you everywhere, like a shadow or a friend. Yeah, kindness. It is the only thing when this human experience is taken to its limits that makes sense anymore. That is the premise and the teachings that mindfulness, and I know many other traditions as well, actually have at its core. Yeah, there we are. So what do I wish you? Happy Christmas. Well, I don't think I'll wish you that. I will wish you, and for me too, is kindness. I will wish you kindness and the ability to be kind to ourselves and others, actually. Kindness. I wish you kindness. Okay. And I'll see you on the other side of this whole thing. And I guess also just reflecting on Christmas, you know, at its core, that's what Jesus taught, didn't he? It was about kindness, as I think all of the traditions really do, these great traditions, religious traditions, have at its core kindness. It really is for me the only thing that makes sense anymore. And I know it's set me free too, actually. There was a time a number of years ago when I remember, lying fetal in so much pain, wondering how long it would actually take me to die if I just stayed there. So, this whole journey, be it whatever you tap into, whatever teachings you tap into, is amazing. And we can be free. And that's what I wish you actually in the Buddhist tradition. May we be free. Maybe we be free, and may we know peace, and maybe some happiness as well sometimes. And I wish you kindness. Okay, ta 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 from the pigeon as well, and ta from the tweet birds of hope. I think they were doing their bit there actually. I suddenly turned into this like really spiritual person, which they get on my nerves actually, which some of you might know. But you know, I mustn't be too, it's one of my things, I can be a bit judgmental. We'll try not to be, to myself and to others. Okay, ta-ah for now. I might take my glasses off actually. Oh no, I'll need them to read, sorry. Okay, start again. Notes now, that's it. That can be as good as it can get. Why did I start with that? Nourishing. Oh no. Oh, I can't remember. Oh dear. Okay.